Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We're just going to wait for a few people to come into the room. It's just 12 o'clock right now. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. So we're going to wait for a few people to come in and join our webinar today. You are registered for Emerge into Thought Leadership. My name is Jared Brick from Brickhouse Media Co. So people are starting to come in, and let's give them a little chance to give them a few minutes to come on in. We are here today in the Port Studio in Oakland. So our business is based in Oakland, California, and we rent space out of a co-working space. And we created a collaborative media studio here in Oakland, California. So right now you are seeing the media studio. So we do photo shoots in here, video shoots, podcasting, anything where people want to create media. This is where people come, and there's about 1,000 members here that get to utilize this space with lighting equipment and tripods and backdrops, white, green, and black backdrops. So right now, welcome. You're seeing the media studio that we're shooting out of today for our webinar. We're going to get started in just a few minutes. Just want to allow some of the people that have registered to step away from what they were doing at work and join a live webinar. So on the right side of the webinar, and I encourage you to kind of close off some of your other windows if you have other things running. Things like Facebook and Gmail and other programs that are running on a computer, they actually take up a lot of bandwidth on Wi-Fi. So I'd recommend turning them off, have the highest quality coming through on the webinar today. If you have any problems hearing me, there's a chat box on the right side of your screen. Just type in that you can hear me or you cannot hear me. If the video feels delayed or it's coming through clearly, let me know. That way I can maybe adjust some things and see if everyone can hear me okay. So we're going to be getting started in just a few minutes. People are starting to come into the virtual room. So feel free to use the chat on the right side of your screen. This is a program called Webinar Jam that we love to use. And so if you can hear me okay and see me okay, feel free to type into here, and I will check any settings that I need to check and see what we can change, if anything. So feel free to use the chat. I'm just going to type, can you hear me okay? See me okay. Okay, did you guys see that chat on the right side? Feel free to drop in there and type a little note if you have a question during the webinar. Leanne says fine. Thank you. Great. Okay, so we're going to get started in a minute. And we've got people flowing in now. So thank you for taking the time to join us today. I'm Jared from Brickhouse Media, and this is our media studio here in Oakland, California. As I was saying earlier, we have a shared collaborative media studio here in the Port Workspace in Oakland. It's right downtown, 20th and Webster, and people use it for podcasts, videos, photo shoots, product demos, meetings, webinars like today. And it's great. We have white, green, and black backdrops. We have lights here for people to use. And we just have a lot of resources available for people to come and create media. So that's what we're using the studio today for. And we're just seeing people kind of come into the webinar. So we're going to be getting started in just a minute. I was encouraging people to just turn off their other apps and things running on their computers, things like Facebook and Gmail and especially YouTube. They pull a lot of bandwidth. So if you want to focus on just this webinar, I would encourage you to just turn those off, silence your phone, and just focus for the next 55 minutes. We're going to go right until about 1 o'clock. If you have to leave early, we will definitely send you the slides, and we'll send you a recording of the webinar. So you don't have to feel like you have to scramble to take notes. There's going to be a lot of insights. So you're going to be dropping a lot of tips and stuff on you today, which is great. But if you feel like you didn't get it all, I'm going to send you a replay of the webinar, and I'm also going to send you a link, an email, to download all the slides. There's a lot of great information. We put a lot of time into the slides and a lot of time in the presentation. And so you can have access to all of that now that you've registered for the webinar. And feel free to share that with colleagues and friends you think might love it. And so we're going to get started here. Okay, so it's 12:04 on my clock, and we're going to dive into the presentation. So again, I'm Jared Brick from Brickhouse Media. We are a multimedia marketing company out in Oakland, California, and we serve the entire Bay Area, and we also serve clients across the U.S. We have not served any clients abroad yet, but hopefully one day we will. We're going to be going right up till about 1 o'clock today, so if you do need to leave, We will send you the slides, and we will send you the entire replay of the presentation. Okay, so I'm going to click off my video, and we're going to jump right into the slide deck. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. If there's any technical issues, also put it into the chat. Thanks, Rita. You can hear and see me. Great. And so there's also going to be a couple of interactive polls that you can do during the webinar. So stay tuned for that. All right, we're going to dive right in. Um, and you guys seeing if everyone's doing okay. Great. I look forward to email. Thank you. I thought we were starting at noon Pacific. Thanks, Mark. We actually were starting noon. Okay, so Leanne, can everyone hear me now? Just want to check in the chat. Everyone here, can you hear me? Okay, I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me all right, I'm here and it's back. Great, Lauren, thank you. Okay, so let's jump back into the presentation here. Okay, so these are some of the people that we work with. These are emerging thought leaders. These are people that are kind of entering into the thought leadership space. So Kathleen Joy is one of our clients. She's the founding CEO of Lumiere Work, and she's a corporate coach. So she's actually developed a unique methodology for her work, and she wanted to completely start fresh and rebrand a new website, new assets and videos. What you see here is actually a clip from one of her videos that we shot with her. And so now she's on this emerging leadership path. So not only does she have an entirely new sales process developed because of a website and media assets, she really has a whole process in place now because we only worked with her for probably 6 or 7 months. So this was a really fast engagement and we really dove in hard and really built a lot for her in the first few months. This is another one of our favorite clients. This is Warren and Bilal. So Warren and Bilal took over an Oakland local TV channel called Soulbeat. And it was something that was popular on television in the 80s and 90s, but they wanted to revolutionize it. They wanted to take it from a TV model in the 80s and 90s and put it onto a digital model where people could stream it to their phones, their laptops, and their televisions. But they just didn't really know how to go about doing that because these are video creators. Bilal's the host and Warren's the videographer. And they were like, well, how are we going to get all these things built? So we met a couple times and we had so much fun building out soulbeat.tv. So if you go over there at some point, check it out. It's a really great streaming content platform for music and local entertainment. So fun working with Bilal and Warren. This is another one of our favorite clients. This is Joshua and Tommy. They're actually co-founders of what I call they're alcoholic beverage innovators with Dr. Hopp's kombucha beer. So if you know anything about kombucha, it's typically under 1% alcohol, but they decided to actually make that a higher alcohol percentage. So their beer is 5 to 10% alcohol, and they just launched, we've done 2 crowdfunding campaigns with them, and it's been so much fun to work with, and they're now getting into this leadership space around an alcoholic beverage in a totally new industry. So thought leadership is often about breaking into a new industry where there really wasn't anything going on before. That's where that term disruptor comes in, disruption, because their potential is to disrupt some of the wine beverage, some of the champagne beverage in a new category that's kombucha beer. So it's always fun for us to work with innovators in business like this. Our goal at the end of the day is to make you into a leader, okay? Because as I said, you can be an expert and that's great. We really love having experts out in the world. But being a leader is about the people in blue, having a following, having people that want to listen to you. One of the reasons, these are 2 TEDx speakers, and we love TED, Technology, Education, and Design, just so if you ever wonder what it stands for, it actually has an acronym. So TED speakers are wonderful because they've been doing research in one area. The challenge with TED speakers that I've met is after they get off the stage, well, what do they do? Where do they want to drive people to stay in contact with them? Because often these are experts who do a ton of research and they're not really savvy at the media side. So one of the reasons why we support people like this is because they should be focused on their expertise, their speaking, their research, and their delivering of product, whatever they do. So our goal is to support these leaders in having that back-end digital process and digital marketing set up so when they step off stage, people can still engage with them. And that's what our course, Break On Through Me, which I'm going to tell you about, does for people like TEDx speakers, authors, entrepreneurs, founders, and emerging thought leaders. Okay, we have our first poll today. I'm going to jump back to here. On your right side, you're going to see a poll. I'm going to make the results public. So right now, click on the right side, and we just want to figure out who here today and where are people coming from? What kind of income do you make now? So feel free to just pop in your answers on the right side in the poll area, and then those numbers should populate as people enter their answers. Ooh, 100% so far have their own company. Okay. I think those numbers are going to change. Okay, it's changing. 25 people work for other companies, so they get a paycheck. Do we have anybody who wants to start a company? Let's see, anybody? This is like, oh, yeah, okay. A couple of people want to start their own company. So that's cool. I've done all three. I have had my own company, I've wanted to start a company, and I've been an employee with a paycheck. So I have a very diverse resume. If anyone wants to look me up on LinkedIn, you can see all the different things I've done in my career. Oh, good. And then there's some people who say it's complicated and it's custom. So this is the interesting thing about doing polls like this is you get some really good data about, who are we speaking to? So now I know that half of you have your own company, and that helps me frame this conversation. And 25% of you are employees at a company, and 13% of you want to start your own company. Another 13% say it's complicated. So thank you for that. Mark, you had more than one box. And Leanne said she's not seeing the slides advance. So sorry about that. I'm not sure. Slides are not auto switching for me. Okay, so let me check that. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. So some of the challenges, and this is the reason why we're having this conversation today, is because people feel like the myth is that it's so difficult and hard, and how am I going to achieve thought leadership? And I'm not quite sure on the journey it's going to take, and it's kind of blurry or it's elusive, and I just don't know how I'm going to get there. So these are real challenges. I've talked to hundreds of people about this, and it's really a problem because people just don't know the path to thought leadership. It's a confusing journey right now. What I'm here to tell you is that no one's ever going to stamp you thought leader in the beginning of your journey. You actually have to declare that yourself. So the model I like to tell people, it's first you have to be the thought leader. You have to decide that you want to go down this path. The second part of it is that you have to have the action, first you have to be the leader, and then you have to do the actions that it requires. And that's part of our work, taking actions that it requires to actually become that thought leader. And the third part is then you get to have the career, the connections, the community that you desire. So again, it's be the thought leader that you'd like to be, do the actions you would like to do and that are required to actually get there. And then you get to have the thing that you'd like, whether it be connections, new revenue growth, a new business, whatever it might be, you get to actually have that now. So this is a saying that I've been saying for a while now, a couple of years. So gone are the days of attaining a PhD, having to author a book, and traveling the world to be considered a thought leader. Those are the benefits after you now start your journey. And you can truly start this at any age and at any stage. It's not about waiting till you get a promotion or the book is on the shelf or you get that big call from a speaking engagement or something like that. I really want to encourage you to forget that. I want you to start today. Forget your age, forget the stage you're in. You do have to have some expertise, obviously, and some experience in your industry, but I don't want you to let that be a roadblock to you starting sooner than later. Here are some of the true, tangible benefits of actually becoming a thought leader. Obviously, there's new revenue opportunities. There's new ways for you to make money. Some people might want to be getting a book deal. And if you're bringing a community with you, like an audience, you'll actually get a bigger signing bonus. And the same thing with speaking gigs. If you have a community that you can market to and you can bring that audience to a speaking gig, you will actually get paid more for your speaking gigs. If you have a validated reputation through your industry, people will refer you for speaking gigs. The goal here is that you have freedom and control over how you make money, how the direction of your career translates, and that you get collaboration offers with new partners and people. Because again, guys, it's not about working alone. A lot of the reasons to go down this path is to collaborate with other great people, as we've done with our course, Break On Through. So remember I said any stage and any age? So I want you to take a close look at these ages here. Severn spoke at the UN at age 12. Milo is here meeting with Bernie Sanders at age 7 in Washington, D.C. And Malala came out of Afghanistan and spoke at the UN at age 16. These are all youth thought leaders, okay? And they're in different categories: environmental advocacy for Milo and Severn, and Malala was for women's rights around the world. So they are now going down this path. They've been for years now. And because they got started at an early age and they had a unique voice, they really had something to share at any age you start. And I think it's really important, especially if you have children, to get them started young. So let's go to our second poll. Leadership status now. Just going to release the poll here. Okay, so there's our next poll. Are you one of the following now? Would you declare yourself one of these now? So as people enter their information, and maybe this is something you want to get into in the future, or you feel like this is your journey and your path, and maybe this is something, that you've had in a former career, I don't know. The answers are coming in now. I'm looking at the comments and it seems like the slides are not advancing. I'm not sure why that is. I will check that. Let's go back to our poll. So it looks like about 60% of you are entrepreneurs and founders, 20% of you are professional executives, and about 20% are in the author, speaker, consultant space. So it's a pretty good breakup today. We don't have any we don't have any students or others today. So we're going to jump again. I will try to make sure that the slides are advancing. I apologize for that, Leanne. I'm not sure why that's happening. And Geraldine, thank you. sure everything's working on the slides. Everything is down now. You seem to be gone again. Can't see or hear anything. I'm sorry, Leanne and Lauren. I don't know what's going on in that area. It seems to be working. I just don't know what's going on. I apologize for that and the technical issues. It seems on my end to be working fine. Everything is down, not working. Okay, so I'm going to keep going, and I'll do it for the recording. I'll send you the recording. So we're going to skip poll 3 because we're having some technical challenges, but I want you to think about why you want to get into thought leadership. What is your core kind of motivation for doing this? One of our favorite books is about crafting your world, okay? And this is by Seth Godin. It's All Marketers Are Liars and Tell Stories. So this is a funny book, and it's a great read. And it's really about how marketing is no longer just about selling stuff. It's really about stories that you tell people, okay? So first you want to create a worldview and a lens to look through in the world. And through that, you want to actually engage with feelings. And what are the feelings you want people to feel? Excuse me. And then you can release your beliefs and biases on the world. This is a way to connect with people through storytelling. Not everyone was going to share your worldview, so don't feel like you have to worry about that. And some people will share some of the feelings that you evoke. Excuse me. And then those people will connect with your beliefs and your biases. So this is a little bit about how to craft your storytelling world. One thing that I've really learned recently is that, yes, we all talk about our passion, our personal passion. And sometimes, to be honest, that can be a little bit selfish, dare I say. So one thing someone helped me realize recently, and this is Scott Belsky from Behance, and he said, create an event not only from your passion, but from real empathy from the people that you desire to impact. So figure out who the people you want to impact in your community, and then listen to them so that it feels like they can be motivated to be with you in your community. So again, look at empathy in the world, and then use your passion as your motivating force for that. If you're thinking, okay, now I want to figure out what's my release strategy? What's my 4C strategy to release content out into the world? Well, first you want to clarify your audience. And I recommend you go and talk to them, interview them, and speak with as many people as you can that you feel like are your target audience for whatever you want to release. And then you want to create a consistent frequency. So this is a deliverability frequency. This is about how often they're going to receive your emails, your videos, or different media that you want to release. And you want to make that consistent. And then we recommend you look at some of the competitors in your space. You can either follow them or just look at what they're releasing, because it's really important to be current and stay savvy, that you know what your competitors are working on. If you have a clear vision and style, it's a key factor because people will resonate with you. Think of Apple. They're always using pure white, clean design. It's a very clear vision and style. So you really want to clarify that. For us, we use a lot of black and high contrast, like on today's slides, so that we have a really clear vision and style so that people remember us. So part 4 of this journey is about curation. So this is a woman who's a museum curator. And I want you to think of what would be the content you would hang on the walls in your business. So this is going to be you choosing content, and that could be photos, articles, white papers, videos, PDFs, and that's going to be your content. So you want to decide, well, all the content that's out there, what are you going to put on the walls? If you're not quite sure about where to find all this content, you can use our 80-20 content rule, okay? So 80% of the time, because you're a busy business owner and you're not going to be creating content all the time, you can actually share OPC, other people's content. And that's educational, inspirational, helpful, insightful. And again, you're giving source, and you're just saying, well, why am I sharing this? So I want to give you an example. So say you meet somebody and you say, oh, you should check out this movie or this book or this great restaurant. You have nothing to do with the creation of that book, movie, or restaurant, but you're telling other people about it to try to help them. Okay? That's OPC. And there's nothing wrong with that. You're not saying that it's yours. You're just giving credit to the original. And you can do that with media online nowadays. And a good way to find that is Google Alerts. So set an alert with keywords and then have Google email you ideas all over the web around things, the keyworded industry in your space. Now, 20% of the time, it should be about you. Okay, your services, your expertise, leadership, and events or product releases that you're doing. So if you break down a standard week, Monday through Friday, one day of the week is dedicated to you. Like today, this is our day of the week. The rest of the week, we're going to share about helpful things to help our community. Okay, educational things, helpful, insightful things that we can release for the rest of the week. We even, as a media company, don't spend all week creating media. Now, as you get bigger and as you get more into the space, you will be creating more. Let's say you write a book. Well, that might fill up 40 to 60% now of your content, as long as it's still adding value in the 80% category. So these are some of the greater goals that people go into content sharing around, well, what do they want to do with their content? Are they advertising a product? Are they adding loyalty to a brand? Are they just espousing the cultural values? I encourage you to just select 1 to 3 at any one time. It's really hard to do all of these, but it's just important that you actually decide, well, what is our goal here? What are we trying to achieve? And as you can see, revenue generation is not on this. But that could be one specific goal that you can say, okay, this month we want to generate revenue. But I encourage you to look at some of these other goals. Maybe that fits into the advertising bucket and really decide, well, is this something that we want to do right now? So again, I'm going to skip the polls. I'm just going to check in with you guys to make sure everything's working. Sorry that there's some technical issues. Send you all the slides. I'm just letting everyone know that I'm going to send them the slides at the end of this. And let's jump back into the presentation. So another question is, well, what do I do to fill up my feed? Your feed is, if you think of like a Facebook feed of content that comes in. So this is an example by one of our clients, Lumiere Work, and it was a 5-minute brain fix, a gorilla meditation. So I don't believe that our client wrote this, but they shared it and then they branded it and they gave creation back to the source. So one of the things we love to create on is pablo.buffer.com, that website on the bottom right corner. It's a fantastic free service that helps you create images like this for social media. It's really fast and easy, and there's even up to 600,000 stock images that you can use or upload your own. So think about things like articles, videos, and PDFs to share. If you're not quite sure about how to engage your audience, think of this as a rule. You can use YouTube to educate, live streaming to entertain, and maybe Instagram to inspire people. So these are some of the different options that we've used in the past for our company of how you're going to leverage different social media channels for development and growth. Again, we use primarily education via YouTube. We like to release our YouTube videos about maybe demos or testimonial videos. And it's really to educate people about our process. And don't forget, YouTube is owned by Google. So it's really important to claim that YouTube channel and brand it as yours, even if you just put one video up there about who you are and what you do as like a business card. But if you do have more ideas for YouTube, I would encourage you to get testimonial videos from your clients, as you can see here. Talk about your expertise, even if it's just you talking for a few minutes, and maybe get something about what does your business do? Like really clearly, what is it? And sometimes we use animations on that left side for that. So there's really great ways to leverage YouTube. If you feel like you are someone who wants to get in front of the camera or speak, then I do encourage you to engage live with people. Live engagement is one of the top, fastest growing things out there for thought leaders. So you want to get out there on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, Periscope, and even YouTube Live. And the nice thing is you can record most of those stuff and back it up on, say, YouTube if you record on Facebook, or save it to your phone and upload it to your website. So there's all these different cross-promotional channels that you can use. The reason why we love platforms like Instagram is because it's so multivariate now. You can do photo, video, stories, and live. So we love to inspire people through Instagram, which also links to Facebook and Twitter. Just so you know, that's more about syndication and just from one platform share. Some people ask us, well, how do we track, Jared, engagement? We're not quite sure on how our engagement gets tracked. So here's a really simple math equation. Let's say in this example, your Instagram channel has 986 followers today. And you posted this cool photo of the girl's shoes and some math problems, and it got 50 likes and 8 comments. So if you take that 58 and divide it by your 986, there is your engagement rate for that photo. Okay? Your goal is to increase that conversion rate as the time increases. Okay? So maybe in a 3 to 6 to 9 month goal, you're increasing your conversion rate, maybe 10 to 15 to 30%. Now remember, as your community grows, your engagement rate can actually shrink because you have such a large community, and it's still harder to reach that many people all at once. It's just something to note. Another powerful reason why we love Instagram is that there's 600 million users, 300 million daily users, and 100 million people upload photos and videos daily. It's pretty incredible. If you want to learn more about how to use Instagram for business, check out that link in the bottom right corner. Some people don't know that if you post photos with faces on them, you get 38% more likes and 32% more comments. So if you can put a person in your photo, or you can just put actually just a face, you actually get more likes. And this is on an average. It won't work for everybody's business, but if you can put photos, and this is a funny mashup between Leonardo DiCaprio and Sean Penn by Design Boom, this is a way to get more engagement on your social media. So I want you to think about quit sharing and start syndicating. So syndication is about being in multiple places at once, okay? So Buffer and Scoop It are 2 apps and websites that you can leverage. They're very affordable. They're under $15 a month for both of them. And you can time release out to Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram, and all these different social media channels. And with Buffer, you can time it. And with Scoop It, it works with Buffer too. You can curate an article and release it over time. So these are some of the efficiency kind of media tools that we use. And then Hootsuite is a great tool that we feel like for monitoring your social media and seeing what's going on and tracking the conversations. So if you're not quite sure, well, what is my story going to be about, Jared, if I go live? So here's a quick little thing to remember about story. Are you being savvy and original? Are you being timely? Is your content truly yours and original? Are you feeling authentic and real? And are you giving people a yes to say yes to? Is there a link or something they can follow you through to say yes to get more from you? So this is a really quick way to think about how are you crafting your story if you do want to go live. We here at Brickhouse Media, we encourage you to throw a wide net to find your community. People are getting kind of broken up into different communities now, and you can see all the social media that we use, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. So you got to throw the widest net you can and then direct them all back to a branded channel that you own to find your community. Another thing people don't think about is you actually want to take people off of social media to your branded website or branded channel that you own. So in this example, this is Instagram. We're offering people a free media strategy review, and then we use a bit.ly link to track the engagement and the conversions and bring them off of social media onto our branded site where we actually can turn it into revenue. Don't forget, guys, the goal here is still creating revenue. It doesn't matter if you're just want to create social media. There should be a revenue goal in all your different areas of sharing and expertise. So now you've reached the 6th floor or the 6th level and you want to launch into leadership. So how are you going to cultivate your niche audience for growth? Okay, so again, we're back to this core of like, what are you going to do to niche and grow your audience for growth? Here's one of the process flows that we created for one of our clients. You create a content asset. Maybe that's a photo, a PDF, or a video. Maybe it's an article, an offer, or a magnet. That's your content. Now you're going to send that out via email to your different lists and social media. You're also going to post that on your website. And it's also going to go out, say, on YouTube to new viewers and send people to your website. Now that's going to create new leads coming in. They're going to go into your website, see your content, and that's going to take them to potentially a lead page or an email. So these are some of the different process flows to bring people back to your website through the different channels that you can engage on social media. This is just one example. If you're not quite sure if you should be talking or doing video, think about it like this. Do a dual-pronged strategy. Do video for the human side of the engagement and use text for SEO and Google. okay? Because the humans are going to watch the video, and Google and those web crawlers are going to see the text on your page. So let's say you put up a video. Be sure to put some 5 to 10 bullets or a couple paragraphs of text just to describe what was being done in the video. That will help your SEO and for Google search results. But I want you to live in your natural state of being. Okay, these are two very successful thought leaders. One is Casey Neistat on the left, who does YouTube and is a creator, a media creator. He also could share his content via Medium and start writing a little bit more, which he doesn't actually do that much writing because his natural state is on video, but he's missing out a lot of other people in different channels. Now, Tim Ferriss has figured this out pretty well, and he's on the right. He started out as primarily a writer and writing books like the 4-Hour Workweek. But he's actually also doing a lot of these different things. And now he's starting to get into YouTube videos because he's realized he can engage a new audience on YouTube from the writings he's done and the articles he's written. So it's really about finding your natural state, but repurposing your content for other channels. So these are, again, some of the leadership targets we want you to focus on. You should be getting new revenue opportunities, paid book deals, speaking gigs, reputation growth, having more freedom and control, and collaborating with great partners. That is the goal here, guys, not just some theoretical kind of named leadership thing. That's not what's important here. I really want you to focus on what is important for you in your leadership, world, and then focus on these as targets. There's thought leadership challenges, again, that come up for people. How am I going to do this? And this is why we created our course. Welcome to the course, guys. We've now gotten to the part of the webinar where it really dives in and talks about our course. It's a 6-week journey called Break On Through to declare you as a rebel, an icon, and a leader, all within a 6-week time frame. So here are some of the tools we're going to import into this program. All the different things that we do as a company, we've built those into this course. Social, data, websites, and video. Creating a real holistic process that you can leverage in under 7 weeks. It's pretty incredible, guys. So here's some, clients that we worked with and why we know that this works, why we know this program works. Alex and I worked for a few months on this program, and he really loved working with us. And it was really fun, and he now understands the strategies that he can leverage to let this happen. And CMO is Chief Marketing Officer. Peter's one of our clients, and he, wrote us this lovely thank you and testimonial because he really gets that we create an efficient and effective online media for his local business. So he runs a wellness and acupuncture center in New Jersey. And so now they've doubled their patient intake from the work that we've done. And he's so happy. I think he just texted me actually that he wants to speak and talk about new strategies that we can keep doing. So he's so happy with the work that we've done together. So these are the different experts on our course. It's not just me on the course. I am primarily 60 to 70% of it, but there's people like Brandon Peel from Planet Purpose and Stephanie Steidel from the Right Brain Entrepreneur and Geraldine Convento, who runs Meet Geraldine, a brand strategy firm here in Oakland. So these other experts in their field have created content in our course. And so these are the different people that are going to be participating and helping you learn on Break On Through. Brandon does purpose discovery work. He helps people figure out, what is their purpose and what is their reason for leading? And then how is it going to benefit their life? And then figuring out what success metrics to really track. And it's a key to sustaining your passion and your motivation in your career. Now, Geraldine's going to focus on the branding and the strategy of your story. How are you going to develop your personal brand? What are the aesthetics going to look like? And what's that story going to sound like? Through media, because remember, this is all going to come through media. So we've got to talk about the color scheme and the feeling that you want to release to people. And then Stephanie's going to jump in at the end, and she's going to be talking about the next step for you in your big picture for your life and your career. So what time management tools are you going to leverage? How are you going to use your right brain, which is the creative part of your brain, to generate consistent and aligned action for your business growth? And we also have a secret VIP expert who's going to be joining us for the course. So stay tuned for this special surprise guest with Break On Through. This is our schedule over the 6-week process. We're going to dive into leadership, and then we're going to work with Geraldine on brand discovery. Week 3, we're going to craft that new world online with myself. Then we're going to curate for growth, figuring out what's that 80-20 ratio that we can leverage. Then we're going to figure out how we're going to syndicate those tools based on what areas. Are you going to use video primarily, or text, or writing, or a little bit of both to syndicate your vision? And then by week 6, we're going to talk about next steps to launching into your leadership role. And that is a 6-week process. That could take people 6 months or 6 years sometimes, everybody. So really, this is such an efficient process that we've whittled this down to just 6 weeks. And then part of the course is that you can get one-on-one consultations with different levels of the course experts. And here are the dates that we're starting the course: April 3rd to May 15th of this year. With level 1, you just get the course, the online website, and the Facebook group. But with level 2, you actually get 3 hours with me. That's called expert level. And it's 3 hours one-on-one with me on the phone, web, or if you're in the Bay Area, we can do live meetings. Now, level 3 of the course is being that leader. You get 4 hours one-on-one with me, and then 2 hours with both of the experts, with 2 different experts that you choose, either Geraldine, Stephanie, Brandon, or a 4th surprise expert. And you get to choose that at any time during the course. I talked to you about doing part of the course is about, we're going to have a private Facebook group to join your community. You're going to connect with a private group also on LinkedIn to make it a more professional connection, so you can start doing those collaborative partnerships. And you're going to have weekly live accountability via Facebook in the live Q&A each week, so we can support you and you can ask any questions that you need. Here's another quote from someone we worked with. Jared was one of the needed catalysts to get my business off the ground. His advice was fantastic, and he's sincere and expedient and driven and enthusiastic. We really did so much work with Kathleen. We're so proud of what we've helped build with her. So our course includes 6 weeks. We call them the brick cores, 6 brick cores that you saw, those 6 levels to get up the elevator, that live weekly Q&A. You get access to that private Facebook group and LinkedIn community, and you get the private one-on-one consultations with myself and the other experts at level 2 and level 3 of the course only. So this would cost you so much money, guys. I can't even tell you how much this process would cost people. So we've just rounded up the numbers here. If you wanted to do purpose discovery work on its own, it'd be roughly $3,000, or just figure out your brand strategy, or build a website and then create content and then syndicate that content. If you try to do this on your own, it can be easily upwards of $18,000 or more and take way more time and effort. So we've tried to simplify that process for you down to our course, which is under $3,500 at its highest level, and the entry level is $2,199, and that is for the full 6-week course and including the Facebook group. Level 2 includes those 3 hours one-on-one with myself, and level 3 is 4 hours with me, and then 2 hours with 2 different experts that you choose. But that's not all. Today, you want to play a big game. So today, we can offer you 10% off with these codes, Break On 1, Break On 2, and Break On 3, based on which course you want to sign up for. And you can even split the payments if you want to pay separately over 1 month difference. So if you want to get involved today, guys, this is the discount we can offer you today through this webinar at breakonthrough.me. I'm going to release this on the different, here we go. So here is our offer right now, running on the webinar. Plus, you even get to have a roof deck party. So for everybody involved in the course that's in the Bay Area, we're going to have a live event in May, and you can join that party. So where we work is a lovely co-working space in Oakland. We have this exact roof deck in the photo, and we're going to have a party in May just for the people part of this course. So that's a great fun bonus. If you happen to live in the Bay Area, you're welcome to fly in for the course. And that's something that we're going to be doing for everybody on Break On Through in May. Remember, guys, our one goal is to create you as a leader. I love this photograph because it reminds you of all the work that you've done to get into that stage light. It's not just about speaking. It's just about where you want to be in your career and how are you going to get there as effectively and efficiently as possible. We've created this 6-week process that you become a leader in a fast way and not in a way that isn't aligned with your values. It's more connected to your purpose than you may have been before. So I really want you to take this opportunity to think about, how are you going to become a leader? What are those things you're going to do in your career that get you there? And how can a course like this really help you? Remember, you have 72 hours before this discount expires. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. We can schedule a time, and my email is on the next slide. And you can let me know if you want to talk about it if you're not quite sure about the program yet. So you have 72 hours before this 10% discount expires, and let me know if you want to talk about it and if you have any questions. So this is the point in the webinar if you want to ask any questions. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to me. My email is jared@bhmedia.co. If you want to just know about the course specifically, it's course@bhmedia.co. There's our business phone number, our website, and feel free to get in touch with me. I want to thank you so much. I don't know how or who referred you to today, but I'm so appreciative that you found us today and that you are going to take steps in your career to really break on through, become that thought leader, get motivated and inspired to just be that person, do the actions it's going to take, and have the career and the life that you've always dreamed of. Thank you all. My name is Jared Brick from Brickhouse Media Co. out in the Bay Area, and just have a great rest of your week and enjoy.